Hey guys, so today we're taking a look here at Plug Power stock, and this is one of the stocks that has been moving as a result of other stocks such as Nikola or Shill, which are basically promoting hydrogen energy vehicles and other sort of alternative fuel vehicles that are rapidly becoming very popular for bigger companies to use for shipping and for other type of truck necessities, etc. And so as a result, this company, Plug Power, which does work with the development, design, commercialization, and manufacturing of hydrogen and fuel cell systems, and you can see that they focus a lot on alternative energy technology. And essentially, what this means for the company is that it's a very, very good time for them to be in the market right now, as the demand for these products is actually predicted to be ramping up in the near future here. So, a lot of people have been asking me, okay, make a video on Plug Power stock. Do I think they can continue surging? Do I think they will be coming back down soon? Or what do I think will be happening with a hype company such as Plug Power? Now, you can see that their CEO, obviously, he's hyping up this technology and saying that essentially their company is going to be dominating the market, and he's expecting these fuel cells to be dominating the market by the end of the decade here. And essentially, that is just more hype to be added to the play here. Now, as with Genus or as with these other stocks like Urban One that essentially run up from one day to another, it's even more important than with a regular stock to basically do technical analysis before you come in. You want to know whether or not this is a good time to buy the stock or whether or not it is a bad time. Now, differently than Genus or differently than the other stocks that we've been looking at in the past, I feel that Plug Power actually does have a very good chance to continue upwards into the $20 range, $30 range even, because of the fact that they are going to become a very, very central supplier of this technology and of these battery cells. So they can come to be worth more here, especially the way they've been running up and gaining over 50% of their value here just within the last 3 months. You can see that they've gone up over 168%. So, like I said, they almost doubled or tripled their value here in the last few months. And kind of what this shows is that people are very, very bullish on this stock. Now, if we do come over here to where I like to do my technical analysis, that's on tradingview.com. And this is a free platform, so you guys can have easy access. And I will have a sponsor code coming up soon here with the website that will hopefully allow me to gain a little revenue if you guys do use my code to sign up. Now, you can see here that the stock is on the 1 day chart, and that's my favorite chart to do this kind of technical analysis because you can see basically movements but over a day. If you have this on the 1 minute chart, you wouldn't be able to know what is going on. You wouldn't be able to understand whether or not the stock is going up or down or what, because there are so many movements happening on a 1 day time frame or within a day if you do have it on the 1 minute. However, if you set it to the daily time frame, you're kind of able to see a better picture of what happened during a specific day and maybe even what has happened over a longer trend, which is what you're trying to hit if you want substantial gains. You don't want to gain just 30 or 40 cents. That's possible to do in a day at any point. However, if you really want to be making the big money here, you're going to be wanting to search for around $2 to $3 moves, which are going to be substantial enough to net you about 100 or so profit if you are holding 10 or 20 shares of the stock here. So with Plug Power Inc., you can see that they have a very, very high resistance level around the 598 to $6 range. And this is the point that they were holding before breaking out. Now, if I do draw a line here, you can see here, and you can also kind of start to make out a bottom around these three lows here. You can see that they were kind of coming into a small wedge pattern here before they exploded up. So if you do have more knowledge of technical analysis, you're gonna be able to see these type of plays before they happen here. Now, what we did see as well, like I said, there's a bottom here at this price. However, they are very, very likely to break out and even come up to this level again during their time, and they didn't really trade between this range. Instead, they just stayed towards the bottom and then rocketed up. However, what I always like to tell people is that the day after a stock breaks from its range, it doesn't really break substantially. You can see that they were about 40 cents up from their range. They did warn that they were a runner. However, they only stayed around 40 cents out from where the range break is, and then the next day was when they went ballistic. Now, that's what I always try to tell people. Keep a close eye out on these ranges and watch for the first day that a stock breaks, because that will probably be the indication. However, it won't be their strongest day. The strongest day will be coming into the next day or the next week after that. You can see that the next week after the stock broke out has been absolutely ridiculous, and they've been running up like crazy. However, in the last day, they've had a very, very red candle here pulling back from around 970 to all the way back to around $9. Now, this stock in the 1 day chart hasn't passed enough time for us to find a second resistance point like we're seeing here. So what we kind of want to do when that is the case is go to a shorter time frame. Now, the 4 hour time frame is not my favorite. However, I do still use it whenever I want to find a technical analysis point, such as now where the 1 day chart hasn't happened enough time for you to kind of see what's going on. And you can see that they did have some resistance around this level and maybe even some resistance around this level. However, these lines that I'm setting right now aren't really giving me the most utmost confidence on these positions. So like I said, you might want to go back to an even earlier time frame to see. Now, when I do come to this chart, I can see that I'm almost hitting the top of this range and that there's a large group of candles here that were trying to decide price direction. And even here as well, there was a large group of candles. And now with the 1 hour chart, you can see that they're kind of melting down to this 910 price and maybe even creating a second wedge here in the short run if we did have a line from here to here, and then here is the rest of the wedge shape. So they might have another breakout move, or this might even be a breakout downwards. So I would kind of wait in the smaller time frame to see what is happening, because I do expect them to have a small pullback here in the day to come or in the next week to come. However, if we do take a look at the 1 week chart, you can see that they've had a lot of green motion here, and even though they did have a pullback here at the top of the week, they've been doing this for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and into their run up here have done this before. So you can kind of see that this is as expected, and it doesn't necessarily mean that a stock is ready to pull back, because like I said, a lot of these stocks might have a lot more to see on the 1 week chart than on the 1 hour. Now, the 1 hour is similar to the 1 minute. It does have a lot of good information. However, throughout the day, it can have a lot of movements that seem like something is happening. However, they don't necessarily correspond with the overall motion of the stock. And you're looking at more pennies per trade than dollars here. You can see that if you did trade the 1 week chart, immediately you would have seen the next week open green. You could potentially make $2 to $3 here just trading this stock based on the 1 week chart. Now, what's going to be crucial for this stock to continue growing is that the 1 week opens, and I would wait for the 1 week to open high and to break this 970 range. If we do see the 1 week chart break this 970 range, then it is most likely that this stock is going to continue running up to the previous highs of around $12 here. Now, it's very, very critical to also look at past data in order to kind of analyze what could possibly happen with a stock, especially when the play is largely based on hype. You can see that a lot of these previous levels have been respected here, including the $6.09 and even the $8 to $9 range here has been respected very, very highly. You can see that these lines almost match exactly to where the previous lines had been set up. So if I did have to guess, I'd say that in the next week we could see a possible run up to the $12 range. However, immediately after, I'm expecting a large pullback, such as what happened here in the past with this stock, and what has actually happened multiple times in the past. As you can see from these charts, whenever it does hit the $12 range, you can expect a strong pullback all the way down to even maybe $5. Now, if we do come back even earlier in the past for this stock, you can see that they were worth a lot, and they were worth substantially very highly at around the $1,000 range. Now, I don't think this stock could run to $1,000 by any chance, because we're talking about a company such as Tesla, or such as maybe even Apple or Shopify or Amazon. So I really don't think this company is going to have the same valuation as those other companies. However, I do feel that they could possibly run to the $100 range if this industry continues to be put up, and if this industry continues to be invested in highly, as we've seen with other companies such as Nikola and Shill, etc. So yeah, guys, just keep a close eye out for this stock. Right now, just watch for the $12 range here into the near future because that's going to be their next level to break before they can continue running up to maybe the $100 range or maybe even higher than that. Although I don't think it's possible for a stock such as this with such a small market cap and so much hype coming into a play. Now, as we did see with Urban One, they ran up from about $5, $6 all the way to 25 and even the $30 range. So I do feel that it's possible for a stock like this, like Plug Power, to run up higher than the $12 range, maybe even 15 or 20. However, I would expect a very, very strong pullback afterwards, such as we've seen with Genius stock, even with Shill, or even with, for example, the other one I was talking about, Urban One. So yeah, guys, just keep a close eye out on the stock. Be very careful if you're investing right now because you're coming in on a stock that is over 160% run up from its previous value. So yeah, guys, you're going to want to use a lot of key indicators to invest before you come in to make sure that that momentum and that price strength is still there before you come in. But as always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe the video and keep an eye out for those plays.